bring you is an offering. And if it's not the offering that you need today, I won't know any better. Like, even if you have your camera on, I get a gist of you moving all together and all that stuff. But for the most part, whether this was a in-person live class or the format we're in now, I encourage you to find your practice on any given day. And that includes leaving things out, being creative, adding things in, doing your own song at some point. Like, it's for you. This is all your journey. I'm just giving you a space to be together and breathe together. That's it. This is Little Mister. I'm Maeve. If you're new to me, we're gonna start seated, just about 10 to 15 breaths here. Let your hands rest on your thighs. Lift your spine up tall. Take a big breath in. Open your mouth, gently release it out. I mostly need that because I just said about 2,000 words in 10 seconds. Big inhale in. Open your mouth, gently release it out. One more like that, inhaling. Letting it fall from your body. And then in and out through the nose. If you ever need that exhale from the mouth, it is there for you. I'm not big on cueing that. It doesn't mean I don't like it or don't believe in it. It's just not, it's not something I do. But if you need it, take it. So just like the poses, the breath is yours to explore as well. And so for the most part, the breath is simple. It's in and out through the nose. It's gentle and soft. And as we're here, we start to balance it. The in to the out to the in. Maybe allowing for little pauses between the inhale and the exhale, between the exhale and the inhale. And then in this moment, in this pause, what do you bring onto your mat today? What do you bring into your practice? Sometimes the easiest thing to tap into first is the physical body because it's very, very tangible. So noticing how maybe your neck feels, your shoulders, your spine, your hips. And then maybe next your thoughts, like where is your mind bouncing around to, or is it pretty steady and even? Are there pervasive thoughts that keep trying to draw your attention? You don't have to push them away, just notice them, acknowledge them, honor them. And then emotionally, what do you bring? What moods accompany your body and your thoughts? Notice I say moods, it's usually not just one, there's usually like a few. And then we have this opportunity to be an observer of all of these things. Throughout the practice today. Bring your hands behind you. Take your feet a little wider than your hips, maybe a lot wider than your hips. And we're just gonna rock our knees side to side. Little Mister's got better plans for me. So knees go one way, and then knees go the other way. If you have props, have them handy. And then I encourage you to explore poses using props, even if I don't cue them. They're not crutches, they are not a lesser than version. They're just another form of self-exploration within the poses. Thankfully, there's some distance between me and you, and then there's the blurring of the Zoom, because I am basically wearing a fur coat of Little Mister right now. I'm gonna have to bring a lint brush with my blocks as a prop. So just moving through internal and external rotation with these hips. Yeah. Kind of lubricate joints. You can kind of exaggerate this, pushing the hip forward. And then come through center. Bring the soles of the feet together. Hold the feet. Without pushing your elbows into your knees, just see what energy you can generate by pressing the feet together, pushing the pinky sides of the feet down, and then allowing the knees to open out. I don't recommend forcing this pose deeper by like jamming the knees open. I haven't really seen it be successful in many bodies up until now. If you have another story to that, you can let me know that, but really asking our body to be an active participant in opening up. Good, rise up if you're at all forward. We're gonna come into what I call 90-90. So 90-degree angle in this back leg. It doesn't matter which leg you start with because we're gonna do them both. And then front knee comes forward, 90-degree angle here. And we're just gonna move a little bit here. You're gonna come forward, and then you're gonna twist open. You're gonna come forward. Come up, and turn toward that back foot. Really nice. Next time you come forward, pause here. Pick up the back foot. Just see what you get there. Probably this hip will talk to you a little bit. And then release it. We're just going to take this and we're going to flip it all the way around. And then adjust it, because you probably didn't just land where you needed to be. At least I didn't. And then come forward. And then bring it around. So a lot of these movements I'll ask you to do aren't always familiar. Like even just general yoga poses, as we develop our practice, we see them more often and they become more familiar, and thereby they're in our body and they're less foreign, right? It's that simple. But really kind of embrace the things that are not familiar. Kind of those klutzy moments. And then come around and see if you can just pick up that back foot. Good, really sit around. And come all the way around into downward facing dog, please. It doesn't have to have any kind of a slick transition. Just be aware of how you transition and be kind to yourself. In downward facing dog, bend one knee and just drop heavy into the opposite heel. And then do the same thing on the other leg. And then both heels press down. Lift all of your toes up if it's okay. See how much of your heels you can get, or how close you can get your heels to the ground. They may never touch, and that's quite all right. And then keeping the weight moving toward the heels, put all the toes down, and then use your toes in the ground. Imprint them down. Imprint them down. And then give your hands some attention. And imprint the whole hand into your mat, into the ground. With an inhale, right knee into your chest. Place your right foot down between your hands. Stand your fingertips. Use blocks if you've got them. Pull the heart forward, power up the back leg. Take this right hip, kind of hug it in and drop back. And then pull forward even more. Beautiful. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Just a couple breaths here. And notice the action of straightening the leg? Did you just jam the knee back, or can you think about maybe pushing the foot down and lifting the hip higher? You can use the hands to give yourself a little support. We're just going to move between those two shapes. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend the front knee, pull the heart forward. Firm that back leg. Catch with the back leg, back hip, and then push and straighten. Exhale to sink. Inhale to lift. And then maybe you start to kind of deepen this sinking down, even though there's a very strong sense of rising. So for as much as you're sinking, you are equally rising up. Last time. Beautiful. Plant your hands, sweep your right leg up and back, open your hip if it feels good. Bend the knee. Re-extend the leg. And then bring your right foot between your hands. Yet again, same foot comes forward. Back heel roots down. And warrior two. Pull your feet toward each other. Wrap this inner right thigh open and then lengthen that inner thigh. Stand on your feet. Reach your fingers away from each other. Find your deepest version of warrior two, and then lift 1/8 of an inch, so just barely up. And then keep the energy of that lifting. Reverse your warrior, inhale. And then release your hands to the ground. Step to plank with an inhale. Lower all the way to your belly with your exhale. Shalabhasana. Reach the hands back, reach the feet back, reach the heart forward, the crown of the head forward. And then move into downward facing dog with your exhale. Left knee into your chest, place your foot forward. Up onto the fingertips, use blocks if you've got them and they help out. They usually do. Good. Push into that left foot. Notice the crease of the left hip, and can you kind of deepen it and draw it back energetically? Firm that right leg toward the sky. Push the ball of the right foot down, imprinting the feet. And then inhale, straighten the left leg. Again, notice the action of straightening the leg. It's not just about pushing the knee, it's about drawing up on the thighs. Yes. Good. Balance your weight in that front foot. We're alternating between these poses. Take a breath in. Exhale, bend the front leg. Firm the right leg to the sky. And then straighten. Bend and sink. Inhale, lift and rise. 3 more. Plant the hands, sweep the left leg up and back, open up your hip. Bend your knee if it feels good. Lift that right shoulder away from the ground. Come back through center. Place your left foot again at the top of your mat. Warrior two, come up and around. Yes. Sinking down. Good. Find your deepest warrior two. Like go for it. Like just drop in and then lift. And the energy that it took to lift you up, that's the energy I'm hoping you can sustain to some degree in the pose. So you're not just resting down the joints. There's a sense of rising. So nice. Reverse your warrior with an inhale. Lower to your belly, please. Cobra, inhaling. Tops of the feet pressed down. Couple more breaths here. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Walk your feet to your hands. Lengthen your spine up halfway. And then fold deeply with your exhale. Be in your center. Rise to stand. Inhale. Draw your hands into your heart. Exhale. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, bowing forward. Halfway inhale. Hands plant, step back. Lower to the floor or halfway for chaturanga. And then your back bend of choice. Shalabhasana, cobra, up dog. And then downward facing dog with your exhale. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale all your breath out. Look at your hands. Bring your feet toward your hands. Halfway, inhale. And then fold, exhale. Rise to stand, inhale. And draw your hands into your heart with your exhale. Be spacious with your body. Be spacious with your movements. Inhale, rise. If your hands come next to your feet, fantastic. If they don't, fantastic. Give yourself room. Inhale halfway. Chaturanga, or your pathway into downward facing dog, which might just be straight there. Lift your heels, inhale. Bend your knees, exhale. Bring your feet toward your hands. Halfway, inhale. Fold down, exhale. Rise, inhale. And hands to your heart, exhale. Gather energy, rising up. And bow forward. Halfway, inhale. Make your way to down dog. From downward facing dog, right leg stretches back. Right knee to right tricep. Take about 5 breaths here. Try to lift that knee as high to the shoulder as you can. Push the ground away with your hands, with your back foot. Scoop the belly up like you're in cat's pose. Inhale, up and back. And then right knee, left elbow, tricep. About 5 breaths. Inhale, up and back. And then exhale, place your foot forward. Crescent pose, rising up, inhale. Little bend in the back knee if it helps you lift the front of the hips up. Pull the feet toward each other. Send the heart toward your thumbs. Use your left hip a lot. Squeeze the glutes. And then catch for the right hip. One more breath in. Release your hands down, straighten the front leg any amount. Bend the front knee. Root the back heel, warrior 2. Sink as deeply as you can and then lift that tiny little bit to get that rising energy. Reverse your warrior. And then bring your hands down to the ground. Right leg sweeps back, open the hip. Bend the knee if it feels good. Get light in the right hand and maybe come into wild thing. Yes. Come around. Keep the right leg lifted all the way to your belly. Good. Keep the right leg lifted. Bend the right knee. Take the right arm forward. Reach back with your left hand. It doesn't mean you make contact. Maybe you don't actually make contact at all, but maybe you find your foot. Stretch the right hand forward, the left leg back, and then if you can, you'll push the right foot into the left hand. If it's not there for you, you skip it. One more inhale. Release. Back, down dog. Inhale, left leg back. Left knee to your left tricep or your shoulder, your elbow, or something in that vicinity. You're here for a few breaths. Lift the foot a little higher. Round the upper back. Use the right leg. Inhale, stretch back. And then cross over to the right. Take a few breaths. Inhale back. Exhale, place your foot forward. Push your feet down, draw them toward each other to rise up into Crescent Pose. So I like a little bend in the back knee to kind of lift the front of the hips up. Engage the right hip. Catch with the left foot. You're not just catching, you're pushing that left foot down. Imprint the foot down. Last inhale. Release your hands down, straighten the front leg. Root the back heel. Your deepest warrior two, your deepest warrior two. And then find that little lift. Reverse your warrior. Beautiful. Bring your hands around. Good. Left leg up and back. Stay there, three-legged dog, or flip over into wild thing. Come around. Keep that left leg lifted if it's okay. And then with control, lower to your belly. Bend the left leg. Stretch the right leg back. Stretch the left arm forward. Right hand reaches back. Maybe find the foot and then just float up. Gently release that. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels high. Bend your knees, look at the top of your mat, bring your feet to your hands. Halfway, inhale. Fold deeply with your exhale. Chair, inhale. Yes. Pick up your left knee. Lift it as high as you can, and then just cross it, maybe wrap for eagle legs. Good. Wrap the legs together to get that sense of rising up. So as much as we're sinking down, you're squeezing and you're rising up. You're going to hinge and bow. Take the arms back behind you. Find your center. Balance your weight in your standing foot. Bring your hands back around. Warrior three. Stay on that right leg. Good. We're going to come back to chair, but I'm going to give you an option to come back to chair through a little handstand kick. So if you want, hands come down, little lift, and then we all meet in chair. If that's not there for you, you just come back to chair. Simple, simple, simple. Yes, beautiful. Beautiful. And then right knee rises up. Cross, maybe wrap. And then there's this synergy between the legs, like they're working together to give you this sense of lifting. And against that lift, you can sink. Bow forward, stretch the arms back. Rise with your inhale. Unravel the legs. Warrior three. We're going to come back to chair, so if you want, hands come down to the ground, kick up, and then into chair. So when I say kick up, if you notice I left the floor like maybe an inch. Wasn't very much. Take a big breath in, and then forward fold with your exhale. Halfway inhaling, make your way to down dog. Right leg back, inhale. Right knee, right tricep, exhale. Little pause, no breath. Inhale, fill up, stretch back. Cross to the left, all the breath out and pause. Inhale back. Exhale, place your foot forward. Crescent pose, rising up. Straighten both legs, bow forward. Maybe you skip your hands on the floor and just bow. Root the back heel. Your deepest warrior two. Lift up a smidge, and then reverse warrior. Bring your hands down to the ground. And then sweep the right leg back. Open the hip, wild thing if you love it. Or maybe you can just like it, I don't know. Come around, right leg stays up, lower down. Reach back with the left hand. Maybe rise up and open. Down dog. Left leg back, inhale. Left knee, left elbow, tricep, shoulder. All the breath out, pause. Inhale back. Cross to the right, all the breath out, pause. Inhale back. Exhale, place your foot. Rise, crescent. Heart to sky. Feet energized. Straighten the front leg, bow forward. Warrior two, your deepest warrior two, and then give yourself that little lift to reverse it back. Yeah. Come around, hands to the ground. Take that left leg up and back. Open the hip, enjoy a stretch or flip to wild thing. Lots of care in those transitions. Come back around. Left leg stays up. Control it to your belly. Left arm reaches forward. Right hand reaches for the left foot, perhaps. And then lift. Take a breath in. Release it. Downward facing dog. Smooth out your breath. Take a moment here. Yes, beautiful. Beautiful. Really nice. Inhale, rise to your toes. Bend your knees, look forward. And then bring your feet to your hands. Come halfway with your inhale. And then fold down, exhale. Chair, inhale. Left knee rises up. Come back into eagle legs. Wrap. Sink down. And then bow forward. Stay here. Come up into warrior three. And then left hand, block, floor, push down, open up that right hand to the sky. Good. Option to bend the back leg to find your foot and then kick your foot away. So revolved half moon. You don't have to take the foot. Very nice, Lisa. Yes. Beautiful. Nice, Jean. Ken, I can't see you, but I know it looks good. Come back to chair, inhale. And then right knee lifts up. You'll have more handstand little lifts, I promise, Ken. Come into eagle legs. And then you're gonna bow and reach back. Good. Unravel. Find some space. Right hand, floor or block. I really love a block for this pose personally. Just gives me so much more space to find some rotation. So play with it, explore it. Possibly taking the back foot, but if that doesn't feel good on your body, leave it off. You can also test it and be like, not today. Not today, friend. Or yes, today. Good. Bring that around. Malasana, malasana. You don't have to turn, I'm just turning so that I can face you. Beautiful. Really nice. Good. In this moment, pause, check in with your breath. Check in with your thoughts. Your body. Your moods. Rise to your toes if it's okay, if you're not already there. Lift the heels up. Oh yes, nice cat, good. Really nice. We're going to keep this sense of lightness here. You're going to rock from your toes to your heels. You can use your hands here. I should have said that sooner. If you don't need them, don't use them. If you want, you rock forward and you take like a little hop up. So here's how I like to breathe with this. Inhaling, exhaling, take off. So I'm taking off at the end of the exhale on no breath, which is like that little contraction of your belly. Which in that you might find you get like a little moment where you just kind of get some hang time. If you have the hang time, then start to breathe again. Don't hold your breath that whole time. Yes, yes, yes. Last two, or just hold it. And then forward fold. Inhale halfway. Make your way to downward facing dog. Through chaturanga or not. And then right leg back with an inhale. Right knee to your right elbow. Right foot toward your left elbow. Shift forward. Inhale up and back. Do that again. Exhale, knee toward your elbow. Foot toward your elbow. Floating pigeon. Inhale up and back. And then one more time, exhale it. And then release the shin down. Good. A shorter stance in pigeon. So think of this as a standing pose in this moment. So a little bit shortened stance so that I'm gonna have my right hip up off the ground, pushing down with my shins, both of them, to get a sense of lifting up. Pushing down with my feet to get a sense of lifting up. Maybe the arms come up. Maybe you're using blocks to support yourself. Engage the back of the left hip quite a bit. That's going to give you more support and open up the front of your left hip. And if for any reason, single leg pigeon, there's a myriad of reasons. If it doesn't work for your body, you can come back to that 90-90 we started with. And that's just a nice variation that hopefully takes any pressure out of anything that's feeling pressure. Last breath in. Bring your forearms down to the ground, tuck your left toes, and then just take the right leg back. You're in forearm plank. Breathe. Thighs, fronts of thighs engaged. Shorten from belly button to pubic bone. Pull the heart forward, pull gaze slightly forward. Come into Sphinx slowly. Press the forearms down, push all the fingertips down, palm the ground, broaden the collarbones, push the elbows, connect the fronts of the legs down. Can you get your pinky toenails to press down? And then very gently, outer ankles in, very gently. Last inhale. Releasing down, tuck the toes, up and back to down dog. Left leg back, inhale. Exhale, left knee to the left elbow, left foot toward the right elbow. Inhale, up and back. 2 more like that. Exhale, floating in pigeon. Inhale, and exhale. And then slowly, just lower that leg down. Again, I'm keeping a bit of a shorter stance here. And yes, I am thinking of it as stance. I want to think of this as a standing pose right now, as if my whole left shin is my foot, like pushing down. Same thing with that back shin, that back foot. And then energetically pulling the legs toward each other. And then using the right hip in the back. Those glutes. One more inhale. Release the forearms down, tuck the back toes, come into forearm plank. Good, start to take your feet wider. Start to walk your feet toward your elbows, but then take them even wider. So almost like the shape of Prasarita, your feet can come right off your mat. Press the forearms down. Lift up on the quadriceps. Inner legs, outer legs drawing upward toward the hips. Press firmly into your hands. See if you can lift the elbows up in one movement. And then walk your hands back toward your feet. And then fold in deeper. If you love headstand, you're welcome to bring the very top of the head down to the ground. Maybe you just start here and then lift the heels. Maybe you bring your knees onto your triceps. Maybe one leg goes up. Maybe the other leg. And then maybe both. Or maybe you just stay here. And then if you're in a headstand, bring those legs back out wide. Everyone lengthen up. Walk the hands forward, walk the feet back, come into plank. Breathe in plank. Chaturanga or the floor. Open and rise. And dog pose, exhale. Rise to your toes, inhale. Knees bend, feet to your hands. Halfway up, inhale. Fold down, exhale. Chair, inhale. Right knee lifts, right knee lifts. Cross your ankle and your thigh, and then sink back. So ankle to thigh, hips hug in. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, Joe, nice. Fantastic. Maybe sink a little deeper. Good. Maybe you reach down and wrap your right shin up. You can stay here or maybe consider lifting all the way up to standing. So it's kind of a pigeon shape, right? They're just shapes. We're just recreating shapes in different places, and the sooner you can kind of recognize how the shapes kind of translate into each other, you can apply similar methods. Beautiful. Coming back down slowly. Good, hands come down to the ground. Stay here. This is perfect. This is perfect. Maybe straighten the standing leg and bow over. Maybe plant your hands. Wrap your right foot around your left tricep and shoulder, and see how high you can get your triceps into your shin, or your shin into your armpits. And then plant your hands on the ground and just come into the toes of the left foot. And then maybe the toes get light and you lift the foot up. And then maybe you start to shift the chest forward and extend the left leg back. Come back in. Rise up to stand. Keep the right knee up. You're almost out, I promise. Left hand to your knee, to your foot, and then twist to the right. Fantastic. Last inhale. Come through center. Forward fold. Let it go. Separate the feet a little bit. If that was challenging for you, what can you do to make it more accessible? If that wasn't challenging enough, what can you do to find that in you? Doesn't always mean taking the more challenging version of the pose. Come back to chair, please. And then pick up the left knee. Cross the left ankle and the right thigh. Let the knee open and then start to sink down. So wake up this left ankle. I like to pull the toes toward my knees. Stay here, maybe wrap that lower leg up, and then push to rise up. Open up the chest, work your standing leg. Come back down if you're up. And then hands to the ground if it's okay. Maybe just straighten the standing leg and enjoy a forward fold here. Maybe start to work this left foot. I always start with the foot. I'm telling you, this is like probably the most important part of this action, of being able to get into flying pigeon. Wrap the foot around the shoulder. So maybe that's where you just start, getting that sense of really connecting the foot and the shoulder. And then moving shin way up into the armpits. And then it's like this balance game. It's this game of physics. You've got to drop the chest a little bit. You've got to tip forward in order to get that right leg to fly. Hug the elbows in. And then come back out the same way we came in. Right hand to your left knee or to your foot. And we twist. down through center. And then release that foot down, come into your forward fold. Halfway up, inhaling. Plant your hands, step to plank, please. Lower all the way down to your belly. Both knees bend. You do not have to take your feet. You can just reach your hands back. Dhanurasana. Take the feet if you want. Push away. So nice. One more inhale. Release it. Downward facing dog, nice and strong. Right leg back, inhale. Right knee to right elbow. Right foot toward left elbow. Float your pigeon, take a few breaths here. And then release the shin down. Option to bend the back leg and find your foot. And then get that same sense of rising energy here. And there's a lot of ways to be here. Opposite hand, same hand, both hands. If you want to work toward King Pigeon, we didn't do a whole lot of this, but if your shoulders are pretty open, you are welcome to come through here. No suffering. Use your left glutes. Use that left hip a lot. The back of the hip. If you have the foot, release it. And then you've got about 5 breaths in just a more sort of letting go version of Pigeon. You're welcome to kind of deepen it, lengthen it. Your next inhale draws your heart up. You're going to shift into your right hip. With control, bring your left leg from the back and bring it to the outside of your right thigh. And then we're going to twist to the left. And we really haven't done a lot of twists today, so let the breath always guide you, but especially today we haven't gone into a series of deep twisting poses. So this doesn't have to be like the deepest twist of your life. Come through center. Take your legs out in front and then come into a low boat pose, please. Yes. Yes, yes. So you got kind of a sort of a non-traditional transition here. Surprise, surprise. You're going to rock it back. You're going to rock up into chair pose or find your way in a chair. And then bring your hands right down to the ground. Maybe a little hop up. Malasana, we did these, yeah? Maybe a little hop up, chair, hop up, Malasana, and then Vinyasa. And left leg back, inhale. Knee comes to the left elbow, foot toward the right elbow. Take a couple of breaths here. And then release the shin down. And that same sort of lifting pigeon with the option of taking the back foot. And there's, again, lots of ways to be here. Same arm, opposite hand, maybe working toward King Pigeon, or none of those. You don't have to take the back foot at all. Right glutes working. And then release it. And then about 5 breaths in your possibly deeper pigeon, possibly not. Start to lift the heart, shift off into the left hip. And then with some control, bring that right leg around. And then we twist it. Yes. So nice. And we're going to unravel this. Come into that low boat pose again. And then hug the knees into your chest. Release the head down. Stay here in Apanasana or split the legs. Bring your hands to your feet on the pinky side, to your big toes, or maybe to your heels on the inside. And then draw down and push away. Draw down with the arms. Draw down from the shoulders, drawing toward the floor, and then push away with the feet. Bring the soles of the feet together. Release the feet down. Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring your hands to the inner thighs, groin. You're not forcing the knees out. You're just giving some awareness to the weightedness of your hips. Check in with your breath. Check in with your body. The thoughts that are playing out in your mind right at this moment. And your general mood. From here, release your hands down. If you're very happy here, feel free to stay here. If this is anything less than happy, extend the legs out. Shavasana. Allow the eyes to soften. Possibly close. Feel the weight of your body. Feel the strength of the floor. And in that relationship, can you let go a little more physically? begin to reconnect to your physical body. And maybe bring a hand to your belly, a hand to your heart. Just feel your breath. When you're ready, bend your knees. Roll to your side. And then rise to sitting. Once you are seated, bring your hands together at your heart. In this last moment together, honoring this community that we practice among, with each other, honor yourself for showing up. Rise tall, inhale. Bow your mind to your heart. Let your inhale bring you back up. Allow your eyes to open gently. I thank you for your practice, for being here.